Hello and welcome back to Chesty Trains. Just a quick video. You guys haven't heard from me in a couple of weeks. Barely any shorts, mostly just off Odie and Odin, the two dogs I have, and we actually have a third one, little one, Lily, but she doesn't like going with the big guys for a walk. So welcome back, Chesty Trains. This video is about trains, and first of all, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for liking, subscribing, for your comments. I try to answer every comment. I try to reply to every comment as best as I can, as quick as I can. Sometimes I don't see the notifications quite as quickly, so forgive me if it takes a little bit. Chesty Trains. Today, I finally got the missing ICE that I wanted to have now for a long time. The one IC I likely not gonna buy is the IC Rainbow from Trix. Just too expensive right now. Considering it's literally pretty much the same technology as the Pico one, since that IC was I think pretty much a cooperation between the two companies too. It's just the one used different printing than the other one, and the couplers are identical. You can switch the train cars out. IC3 from Markland, from Trix, from Pico. All the same couplers. Bogies are almost identical. A little bit different wheels in them, of course. I think the Trix IC3 is a little heavier on and also prepared for better prepared, I guess, for interior lighting. But essentially, like, it's the same scale lengths, everything. So, you know, to go into a store and pay like 1,000 something euros for the IC Rainbow is just not in the budget. I would rather spend that on, let's say, if Pico were to come out with an IC4 in the Germany colors, like with a Germany stripe on there, like it runs prototypical in Germany. I would consider spending, like, you know, $1,500 Canadian on that consist, rather than you know, buying the Trix one for the Rainbow one. The other one, hopefully that'll come out, is the IC3 Velaro, the one from or the one that runs right now from, I think, Frankfurt or Cologne, Frankfurt to Paris. They made it now the IC Europa, so it has a blue stripe on there, the red symbols. Pico brought one out, the first IC3 Europa. Actually, no, through Pico. I think it was like a starter set through the Fetus group or something like that. So that came out, and that was a great set. The only problem is you cannot get any add-on cars. You have to buy literally another starter set to steal one car out of it, buy another starter set to steal a car out of it. And I mean, who wants to buy, you know, 6 additional or 5 additional starter sets to make an IC? Like, I mean, that's would cost you a fortune too. So not an option for me right now. I just have the Europa starter set. I bought half the 4 units, like the 2 end coaches, the restaurant coach with the motor in there, and then I think there's a second class coach in there. So for now, that IC will stay like that until maybe Pico decides one day, hey, you know, let's bring out some add-on cars, which would be really nice, because also that is actually 2 Era 6 IC3, whereas the normal IC3 from Pico, the hobby one in the starter sets or available on its own, is Era 5. Like, it just doesn't have the long numbers on the sides yet with the country code in the dash D or dash A for Austria or whatever. But just to that. So anyway, so now it's about unboxing this nice big box I got from all the way from Germany. Bought it on eBay and got it for a very good price. compared to what I've seen other listings for. I've always watched it on eBay. I've always watched it on Kleinanzeigen, the German eBay classifieds, basically. And it a lot of times it was listed for 600, 500 euros plus, and it would just not sell. It was on there forever, and then all of a sudden the ad would disappear. And if you would make the owners a reasonable offer, like like 30% more what it was sold for in stores when it was new, which is ridiculous, but that's essentially what I was willing to pay for it. People would just simply say, "Oh no, this is a collector's item," and in the end, I personally see it that way. That trains are trains. They are toys. They are definitely not toys for kids anymore. They're toys for adults. And like any toy and any collectible is only worth what anybody will ever pay you for it. So if somebody says an ICE whatever, or a Markler locomotive V200 is worth 250 euros because it's 60 years old, it's like, yeah, I wouldn't give you $10 for it because it's a really old piece of toy, and it doesn't tickle my fancy. If somebody would say, hey, you can buy an IC4 Pico in the Germany design, but it's going to cost you $1,800, I would say, okay, yeah, I'll pay that for it because that's the toy I want. And sometimes, these dealers or these people on eBay seem to forget about that. I'm watching a couple locomotives right now, which, I'd buy for the right price, but they're Lilliputs, and they 40 plus years old. They from the 80s, and they have phenomenal detail, and they're relatively easy to convert to DCC. But it's just like, I'm not going to pay $250 for that. It's a toy from the 80s, and as much as they think it's worth a fortune, it's not. Like, it's not to me. Like, if anybody wants to buy it for that, go ahead. For that kind of money, $250 US or 250 euros, I'd rather go to Modellbahn Shop Lippe, buy myself a nice diesel with sound inside, the newest of the newest Roco whatever diesel, and it's on sale, and they have those deals all the time. And that's where half of my rolling stock is from those sales. They go after 6, 7, 8 months on the shelf. They go into the blowout sale, and they literally come down 30-40% from the suggested retail price. So that's where it's more realistic. Plus, you got the sound decoder in there. You got everything done. LED lights, everything. You don't have to take a 40-year-old locomotive, take it apart, change everything to LED, add some cab lighting in a cab or whatever, buy a $150 decoder, put it in there. Like, it just goes above and beyond, and I'm just not willing to pay that. And that's just where I guess I differ from many other people, but I think in general it's for everybody the same, because it's our hobby, and we love doing this, and we love having trains. And the one might enjoy more the scenery, and the next guy enjoys more the looking at the trains just running in a circle. The next guy wants to have a nice rail yard and shunt freight cars back and forth and put consists together, and the next guy might just have the train running in the background and sits at his train simulator and the computer and likes riding trains through imaginary worlds or the real world on the computer screen. So I mean, it's what everybody likes. Like, and I don't tell people how to do their hobby. I don't interfere with anybody how they do their hobby. I think it's great if anybody is in this hobby, because it's such a multifaceted hobby. I'm always happy when I see other people are interested in it, and when I see how many of you like my videos and watch my videos and my shorts and subscribe to my channel, and thank you very much. So I just love the hobby, and that's why I make these videos too, because I like to share with you guys how nice this hobby can be. And I'm now here in my basement at home, and And I'm going to start building a layout. When exactly, I don't know yet. There's a little bit more preparation to be done. There's a little bit more furniture to move out of here and get rid of, to have some more room. But I have about 6 meter by 3.5 meters, roughly, about to play with for the layout, because obviously I'm not going to take out like the sink area with the fridge. Like, that's way too convenient. I can make coffee, I can have cold drinks, beer, while I'm playing trains, and I don't have to go upstairs in the kitchen. So this definitely has to stay. Okay, so we might have to build. I might have to build around it or over top it, or if it utilize those shelves there to run a train over top. Maybe it can pick me up and be on the way. But that being said, like, I just wanted to say, like, thank you very much for everybody who has subscribed, who is subscribed, who's watching my videos, who's leaving comments. Thank you very much. And I'm gonna show you the ICE I got that will, for me personally, complete my collection that I wanted of the available ICEs. I have the ICE Experimental, I have the ICE1, I have the ICE2. Both of those I have in Era 2, in Era 4 and 5, and now I even have the new Roku one in Era 6. I have the ICE3 from Pico in Era 5 and Era 6. I have the IC1 from Lima in Era 5, the full scale Lynx one, but not complete yet. They haven't brought out enough coaches, so I'm kind of piecing it together. I have the IC4 from Pico. I have the ICT from Fleischmann, the one that tilts into the corners. I have the ICT from Riva Rossi, which is the, I'm not sure now, I think class 418 or 19. Which tilts and doesn't tilt into the corners as a model like in real life. It does, but it's only a 5-unit consist, whereas the Fleischmann prototype, like the one that Fleischmann modeled, is a 7-unit standard consist. And I also have the Roku IC3 Velaro, both in the regular and in the Klimaschützer or Climate Saver livery with a green stripe. So I'm all the way up to, and I got the ICTD from Roku to complement that. I have a really old IC1 from Trix. Again, like that was right at the beginning when they made it together with Marklin. And it's a 1:100 scale model. I have the IC2 from Roku as a Klimaschützer. I've made a short not too long ago. It had the it has the green stripe now too. I have the old one out of the starter set I got now. I got myself the IC2 in 1:100 scale with the green stripe, just because I wanted to have the Climate Saver livery. So I had to compromise and get the 1:100 scale. So, but one that I always was missing is another ICE, and I think I have to reposition the camera so you guys can see this too. Hang on. Okay, I think you guys have a little bit better view now of this box, and of course I had to pay customs on it because nothing enters this country without the government grabbing some of it, not even when it's used model trains. And like I said, it came all the way from Germany, and I just gotta move this, and I better move my coffee, so we don't want to spill that. So let's see if it made it in one piece. I think it did. We can tell customs opened this because the wrapper is not around it anymore like it was in the picture when it left Germany. There you can see already on the end. It's kind of stuck in the box, and we're gonna get rid of the box, and I'm gonna get rid of this. Yeah, the customs pulled this all off, and just kind of stuffed it back in the box, hoping that Canada Post treat this nice and not smash it around. So let's hope that this is in decent shape inside. But it looks like it. It looks like it. So this is the Trix ICE S. The ICS is the special Schnellfahr, so high speed, super high speed test train. And this set, or this train, ran in this length of consist only. So we have here the 410, which were like the locomotives for the test train. They were classified as 410 because their maximum speed was I think 425 or 450 even they were approved for. Then we have coaches, and you can see here this coach has 2 pantographs, this one has 1 pantograph, and both locomotives have a pantograph. So now these pantographs were on there to test at high speeds. And there's different types of pantographs on there because obviously they had to test for the IC3 if it can run on the French catenary. So this train also ran in France, in Belgium, I think it was in the Netherlands, Austria, Switzerland, I'm pretty sure. And it also had the coaches approved for over 400 kilometers an hour, so that they could actually test these at very, very high speeds on the Neubaustrecke, like on the special high-speed rail stretches in Germany for the ICE. So this train from Trix, unfortunately, in 1:100 scale, or you could say it's a Markland train, but essentially like this development of this ICE with the couplings the way they are is still, I think, part of the old Trix group just before they were bought out by Markland because they went bankrupt, right? So here's now a fantastic set. What's really nice about it too, it has a 8-pin socket in the locomotive. Of course, the second locomotive is just a dummy, and I'm not sure now which one is the dummy. This one feels rather heavy, so I'm pretty sure. Yeah, this one has the bogies with the bogie with the motor on it. So this here is my driving coach, or my locomotive on this set. And the other nice thing is this set, all the train cars have power conducting couplings because they have interior lighting standard. All I do have is a short little test track here on the table, and I don't have a layout right now. I will maybe put something on the kitchen table to make a short of this running. Also, what I want to do is obviously put a sound decoder in right away. It's got to have sound. It's got to have sound, and then I want to put the Fleischmann Tachowagen, the odometer car on here, and make sure that I adjust the locomotive that way that it can run the prototypical 400 kilometers an hour. I don't know if it can. Maybe the motor from Markland won't even do, or from Trixie won't even do that. But we're going to put it to maximum speed because that's what it should be. It should be close to what the prototype can do. If I can ever run it that fast, I don't know, but I'm just going to play with the decoder a bit and adjust it. So anyways, like, really cool. So this is it's also called the IC Sinus because it has on the side here, it has these sinus waves on the cars, and I will try to show you a little bit closer here how cool this is printed on there. So the red and purple stripe that's on the locomotive transitions to this cool line here. It says ICE on there, right there. This one is the one with the 2 pantographs, right? So that's the only thing. I think somebody on the on YouTube said on one of the German channels, the one here should have been, I think, a French pantograph or something like that, or one that's okay to use in France. Whereas the other one, I think, was the one for Switzerland. So the much skinnier version, and not both the same widths and both the same style. But I'm not 100% sure. I don't want to say anything to that. But then we have on the center coach, of course. Oops. On the center coach, we just lost our cover for the end, where the diaphragm is to the next coach. But it just clips back in. So here we have another pantograph, and really nice. They in different colors, like almost better than what Trix delivers today, or Markland, looks wise. And then of course the other quote, the last coach that again connects to the locomotive. We have the ICS logo here, and we have the transition back into the red and purple. So really cool set. I wanted it for a long time, but like I said, I do have my limits. My wife would probably disagree, but but I'm really happy to call this my own. I always tinkered with the idea to take a Fleischmann IC, Fleischmann 1 IC, and basically relabel it. There's decal sets you can buy, but there is still a couple differences between the locomotives of these IC1 and IC410. I believe that this 410 is the same locomotive as the IC experimental from the outside for the most part. I think they changed some of the louvers and stuff, but I think so. I've got to do some more research and have a better look at that. But I'm looking forward to putting a decoder in and letting this shoot, guys. Almost dropped it. And letting this guy run around a layout eventually. Yeah, there you go. That's the set. Freshly arrived from Germany. And now you guys saw me unbox it, and I'm happy. Like, I can see a little bit the damage on the box end here from the shipping. It's a little bit crinkled in. I think the staining and stuff on the box itself is just from shelf life, because it's definitely not a new set. It's just, I don't even know what year it was produced. But I'm really happy I can call this my own now. And yeah, if you have any questions, if you guys have any questions, or if you want to see any other models, or want to know anything, you can always write it in the comments, ask, and I will answer as quick as I can. And again, thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see this guy running sooner or later. I will have to go and pick up a decoder from my hobby store here in town, hobbytech.ca. Not that I get paid for advertising, but I like to support local. And yeah, like, the decoders there are good prices and fair prices. And it's a great store. He has a lot of sales on his inventory, so might be worth it for you guys to have a look. And I believe it's ishop.hobbytech.ca. Go on it. He has pricing in US dollars and Canadian, not in euro, but he's happy to ship all over the world, and I know he has shipped all over the world, as much of his business for the European models is obviously outside of Calgary. So yeah, maybe have a look at his website and get yourself a new train. I just got one. I'm happy, and that's it for tonight. Thank you very much all for tuning in. If you want to like and subscribe, you can get that little notification bell. You can hit that, and then you don't miss when I do my next video. Yeah, that's really all. Have a good night, guys. Hopefully you all have a good weekend, and take care.